Chance.
What's up, everybody? Episode 12 of the No Chance podcast. As always, your hosts, Ryan
and Nate.
And if you didn't forget, we are the podcast that talks about everything and nothing at the same damn time. And our topic for this week is nothing. I'm just kidding.
Anyways.
But yeah, so we just want to say, 12th episode means about 3 months. So
12 weeks of
that's
podcast.
A fourth of a year dedicated to this already?
Yeah, a fourth of a year.
That's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely feels like it's gone by a bit faster.
Yeah,
but if a fourth of a year feels like this, then imagine what a year's gonna feel like. It's gonna feel like we've been only doing it for a day or so.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like sometimes. It feels like, this is just it's easy.
Yeah, now that we've gotten all of the hard stuff out of the way, it's just
countless days of taking hours just to set up a camera.
Yeah,
to figure out lighting. But
now we could do it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. We kind of overcomplicated things in the early couple days, early episodes, but that's probably why we'd never had any videos come out because we didn't focus on just the main stuff. But
anyways,
let
me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Did you vote in this past election?
To be honest,
I'm talking about the election that was yesterday.
To be honest, and I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this just in general. I haven't voted ever.
At all, period. Not even in the presidential election.
Not a single time in the. Well, you have to be 18 to vote. So in the 7 years that I've been eligible to vote, I have not voted.
Jesus,
once.
What have you been doing with your life?
I don't know, dude. First of all, I think the place you get eligible to vote or you register to vote is what, a DMV?
Yeah, the DMV.
Or they have other places when they have.
You can register to vote online too. That's what I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was easy as 1, 2, 3, I would have done that.
It took literally 5 minutes.
I don't know why I've never voted before. I know that, in the Obama elections, it was definitely something that I was like, all right, I gotta go do, but I just never actually.
Is it
took
because
the initiative to go.
You're lazy, or you're just optimistic or pessimistic about the future?
I don't know.
Or...
I don't even think. I feel like, early me, not me currently. When I was in college, my first year of college, I just wasn't really worried about it. It was one of those things where I was just it'll handle itself.
Yeah. You guys got this one.
Yeah,
you guys
for
got
real.
it.
Yes, y'all can. Is what I was saying in my head. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'm really, really thinking about now. Obviously, it's a little bit too late, but
way
I got
to go.
the next 3 years to really dwell over it and register to vote.
Yeah.
But I know that just this past today's Wednesday,
November 8th? November
7th?
8th? No, it's the 8th today.
Let me check.
Yeah.
It's the 8th.
8th.
Yeah, November 8th.
Yeah.
Yesterday, November 7th, were the elections for, some of our local government.
Mayoral races, races for governor, Senate.
And to a lot of people, not myself included, but to a lot of people, they saw this as a huge opportunity. Not only as a huge opportunity to sort of change the landscape of things that are going on in politics nowadays, but there's a lot of people that thought of this as normally these sort of local elections are almost seemed as pointless.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even pay attention to the smaller races that.
But this time it was fucking huge. It was covered like it was a normal primary election.
Almost like a presidential
election, because now they're starting to see that every single person matters.
Every single race counts.
Every single race. And they're keeping tabs on everything. This small city person, whatever. But sort of the point that we're trying to get at is, and we had this whole debate a couple days ago of just this politically charged streetwear. Yeah. Things that we're seeing nowadays in streetwear kind of resemble, sort
almost
of everything that's going on. Everything that's going on in society nowadays. There's a lot going on, to be honest.
Yeah.
You watch the news.
Too much to cover
the news,
in one podcast.
Dude, fucking the news is getting more has seen the highest viewership and ratings than it's seen in
years,
the past
decades.
Yeah. it's like a reality TV show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's how it's treated nowadays.
Because there's like all kinds of crazy shit going on these days, man.
Dude, I don't watch
it's
the news
ridiculous.
to begin with.
Yeah.
There's a I feel like if you watch the news nowadays, like say like you know how our parents kind of watch the news like every night. It's like a religiously done thing. There's shit on there that'll make you like go psychotic. Like it'll turn you into a serial killer. Like you'll just look at it and just be like, 8 kids, blah 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 blah. I'm just like, dude, are you just used to this now? Like it's just like normal.
Yeah, it's weird because whenever I see that stuff on the news, I don't even flinch anymore. You know, I feel so bad, but it's just it's just me being desensitized to it because it happens so often.
I used to be speaking of desensitization.
Ooh.
Good
finesse on that word.
I tried to roll that one off my tongue.
Yeah.
Speaking of becoming desensitized, I think for me it all started with you ever had go on to E-Bombs World as a kid?
Oh yeah, for sure, all the time.
The first fight I had ever seen on E-Bombs World, I was like, I don't think I should be watching this.
Yeah.
Like it must be a crime to be watching this because I feel so horribly inside.
Yeah.
And ever since then, World Star comes around and like just movies and fucking everything YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Even real life, dude.
Yeah, it's like nothing nowadays.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but I guess the question and how we kind of relate it to, to streetwear is, when it comes to like things that happen in society, how it's kind of shifting into, everything is becoming a little bit more desensitized. People are open to this sort of like gory, messages that sort of say whatever they want. Like, how does that sort of attach itself to streetwear nowadays? I mean, it's been a thing like in the early 90s, being that sort of...
I mean, I think since the inception of streetwear in general,
it's that counterculture movement, you know? Like, I'm going to say whatever I want. It doesn't matter who sort of likes it or, who disagrees with it. It's going to be out there. But nowadays, with everything being so sensitive, you know what I mean? Like, I swear you can't go on Twitter and say anything nowadays without, somebody, checking you and being politically correct.
Yeah.
So how does streetwear sort of fit into there nowadays?
Well, I think, like you said, and like we've talked about before, streetwear has always sort of had this sort of countercultural, anti-authority sort of message to it, It was always sticking your middle finger to whoever it may be.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think streetwear has always been a canvas for people to kind of show their viewpoints, whether it's political or whatever it may be. Streetwear is always sort of a way of putting your message out there or putting your viewpoint out there, an expression of how you really feel.
Yeah.
So I think in that sense, politics and society in general are always going to be reflected in streetwear.
Yeah. It's almost like in streetwear, if it's polarizing, if it evokes an emotion, if there's two sides to it, somebody's going to make something about it.
Yeah.
And just like we see, like a good example nowadays, or just previously, fairly recently, a lot of the vintage O.J. Simpson shit comes back.
Yeah.
A lot of people are into it because it is a moment that took place before him, but is now currently taking place again. Yeah. So people use it as almost like, this is my sign. This is how I feel about this thing going on.
Yeah, or even like a lot of like civil rights movement, like graphic tees or anything like that.
Yeah.
Those are super popular now for whatever reason. Maybe the person just likes the graphic, or maybe they really resonate with it because of the message. So I think just because of the political climate that we're in right now, and there's a lot of tension, I think we're seeing a lot more like a revival of a lot of those older pieces, as well as a lot of contemporary brands putting their stuff out there with their own message. Because
you're right. Like when they're sort of using that message, it's something that's always been around. So for like something like that's really heavily involved into the news nowadays, and just like a shitty thing in itself, is just like police brutality has always been a thing that's been involved in streetwear.
Like 424, I know they put out a lot of pieces like hoodies, kind of as a commentary on police brutality, things like that. So
I remember we went thrifting one time and I found a 424 shirt that had Donald Trump's face on it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm reselling this for sure. This one's gonna sell fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot of that as of lately because it like, and I guess the big question here is, and I kind of read this on a Complex article. It was, does streetwear need to be involved in something like politics?
Like, does it
need to have a voice within politics?
I think that's totally up to whoever's creating it or whoever's wearing it, you know? I don't think we can say that streetwear and politics can be separate.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, it's not like church and state, you know?
Yeah,
There's no hard and fast, like, clear boundaries.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like, streetwear is so closely linked to anything counterculture that it would be hard for them to be separate.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, and as long as people are still making T-shirts when they go to protest, it could be part of streetwear.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you look at something like a Balenciaga design where they were using the Bernie Sanders, or I think it was the Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, it was the Bernie Sanders, like, election.
Graphic or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's and I think that streetwear or streetwear brands have to somehow be involved or, like, state their side when it comes to social issues,
that's
politics.
a good point.
They have to, because like nowadays, if you ever watch, I mean, I'm sure anybody that's watching this is watching the news and they understand, like, this sort of giant dilemma and this sort of bashing of heads when it comes to, you know, just
literally everything.
You know what I mean? So if you're not voicing which side you're on, people may sometimes misconstrue what your stuff means.
Well, I mean, even if you do voice your opinion, I think a lot of people are going to misconstrue your viewpoint or what kind of message you're trying to get across.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. So a brand has to say that they are not fans of Trump or that they hate Trump.
Or maybe they support Trump or whatever.
Yeah,
it could go either way. We're gonna be as unbiased as possible.
It's weird because I have not seen a company that's, like, attaches themselves to it. Have you seen a brand that's like?
No, not like a streetwear brand.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
I feel like when it comes to streetwear brand, even if whether it's a presidential sort of thing going on or any other sort of social issue, they always sort of take their stand on whatever it is.
Well, let's back up a sec. I don't think anyone who voted for Trump is going to be wearing streetwear anyway. They're most likely wearing, like...
That is true.
They're most likely wearing, like real tree camo.
For sure.
Or, like, salmon pink chino shorts with, like, Sperry's.
Ooh,
and like a white polo with like a tennis sweater draped across their shoulders.
But the collar is popped.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, double layered polos.
Jesus Christ.
But
they're from, like, Martha's Vineyard or somewhere.
But you know what's funny is, what if you saw somebody who supported Trump, right?
Yeah. And I'm sure there are people out there
of course.
Yeah, for sure.
But they were wearing some Supreme Realtree camo. Hey man, I mean, fuck that. Hey. It's just like,
shout out to that person.
Shout out to that one person who's repping it at the fucking rally.
Yeah.
Like, god damn, that's fucking insane. But I guess, I mean, where do we see sort of with the sort of social political climate of just sort of everything that's going on? Fucking everything is happening right now. It's hard to avoid any sort of.
Well, let me ask you this. I have a question for you. Do you think that the younger consumers, I mean, which are the ones that are particularly interested in streetwear, do you think they care about any political message?
I don't.
Or do you think that they just care about the product that they're buying?
They care about the product that they're buying. Yeah. I don't think they care. I mean, there's almost like there's three types of people in this sort of the realm of, like, this politically socially charged clothing. It's the person that doesn't give a shit at all and just cares that it looks nice or maybe is worth money to resell. There's the person that's like us that kind of cares or is, like, interested in the message in a sense.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody who looks at it as like to the extent of, like, I'm not gonna buy that shirt because it was made in, like, a sweatshop, and, like, to the point where they're overthinking it to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
And they're taking every little message that these streetwear brands are portraying on their clothing as, like, this is, you know, offensive and like to the fullest extent. And I think to answer your question, the kids that possibly could be buying that Balenciaga sweater to resell, to buy that, the Gosha piece to wear or whatever, they probably don't know anything about it, or they probably don't care enough to do the research. Yeah. It's all about, like we sort of preface in the previous episodes, these young kids that are coming up are all about a buck nowadays.
Yeah, they're all about a buck, or creating some sort of image for themselves.
Exactly. They're trying to match what it is their idols are wearing, but they don't know that their idols probably kind of care about what they're wearing.
So in a sense, you're saying that younger people don't really care about the message across the board or anything like that. They're just concerned with what's hot, what's trending, not necessarily what sort of message is being conveyed or anything like that. It's just definitely strictly about the product.
It's strictly about product, which is it's good and bad. I mean, it's good to the extent that, it's almost like curiosity killed the cat, kind of. So if they're like too curious about it, then they're gonna be like, I actually don't rock with that anymore.
Yeah.
Or it could be they're just so oblivious to it that it's just like, oh, I didn't know about that. Well, thanks for telling me. Like, now I have a choice in whether or not I want to continue wearing this or not. So they definitely start to think more about it once they're educated.
Yeah, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand with millennials not really getting out to vote that much.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that millennials didn't really have a huge turnout at polls within like the last few years. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand with that,
Yeah.
I think I don't know. What do you think it is? Like, why do you think, one, kids don't care about the message, and two, the younger generation doesn't necessarily care for politics?
This is something, this is actually a good sort of transition into the sort of where things are going in terms of just how we interact with people. It's a fucking attention span nowadays. We don't have the attention span to read about the policies of this president or this governor or this senator.
That's very true. I mean, we literally just talked about this the other day. I was pretty sure I was like telling you guys that I have such a small attention span that I can't even watch like a 30-minute show on Netflix without getting bored. Yeah.
I know, and that's the thing that's sort of daunting about where this is all going, is like, if you don't have the attention span to know what sort of message or even what sort of political party your president is from, then what makes you think you're gonna even think twice about anything else? So why would personally, I know I'm gonna go vote when it comes to like the next
election. You haven't for the last 7 years, so
but to the next kid that is involved with like trying to cop some shoes on the weekend, or maybe he has this girl he's trying to talk to, or maybe he's trying to figure out how to become popular on Instagram. He doesn't give a shit about who the president is or about voting or what political policies that should be implemented nowadays.
That's true. I think we live in such like a self-contained world that we we don't really think of anything beyond like our own little sphere.
Yeah. That's true.
Like everything outside of your own personal life, you don't really see the connection between that and
you definitely don't.
And what's going on in your life.
And that sucks. I
mean, it's true. I think it's because as millennials, we've been handed everything, not in the sense that we're lazy or don't try, but in the sense that everything is so readily available because of advancements in whatever, like technology, things like that, that it's, you just get kind of complacent. You don't really have to think too deeply anymore about issues. You can just read about them online in like, maybe in like a tweet, like 140 characters.
No, that's like the thing that's really annoying is reading like headlines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this whole new idea of fake news being, it could possibly be a part of, some of the articles that we read revolving around streetwear.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of stuff that kind of is like clickbait, and it's attention grabbing. You click on it. It has nothing to do with what we're intending on reading it for, So, but that's them sort of trying to latch on to the kid who only has like 2 seconds when they're scrolling, and once they read that one word of Supreme or Resell or whatever it is, you know, then they click on it. Oh, that's it. Okay, cool. On to the next one.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just there's a huge lack of sort of understanding nowadays. It's more so just like it's like reading, but nobody's understanding anything.
Yeah.
Which is it's stupid.
Like, you hear me, but you ain't listening.
Yeah, for real, man. Like, people need to open their eyes to this shit. But like I said, how there are 3 people in this sort of like realm of the types of people that buy streetwear, or when it comes to the streetwear with messages, right? Mm-hmm. The next group of kids, I mean, there's the kids that don't give a shit or are too oblivious to care at all. There's the kids like us who semi-care.
I mean, I voted, so.
It's not about... Look, I got the next one, all right?
All right.
I mean, just in terms of, like, we care a little bit. We care to understand to a certain extent.
Or maybe not even that we care so much as that we're aware of what's going on at the very least.
Yeah,
definitely. You know, like, doesn't matter if you are indifferent, you know, as long as you're aware of what's going on, I think you can fit into that sort of group, you know?
If you're able to form an opinion and have the conversation about whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, some people have no idea some things are happening in this world right now. You know what I mean? But, like, I don't think it takes watching the news to understand that. It's just being aware of your surroundings. You know? And to be honest, there are some people our age that just are so sheltered that they're not aware of anything.
Politics or otherwise.
Being like walking across the street and not even like knowing there's a car coming. You know what I mean? Like it's just not adept for some people, which I mean, I'm not going to like I can't roast on the entire world, but there's some people that are just very oblivious to some of the shit that goes on a day-to-day basis.
All right, so let's talk about this then. Let's kind of get back to the streetwear aspect. Do you think that a lot of these politically charged messages being used on like certain streetwear pieces are meant to be thought-provoking, or do you think that they're just being used to sort of capture like
a moment,
the essence of the moment, and sell a product based on that? Like, what do you think?
I think it
or maybe both.
I think it is both. I think there's some brands, and there's a lot of them that are like the H&M type brand, or like whether it's the fast fashion or the streetwear brands that are created for the moment rather than like for the movement.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are just there to capitalize. I'm sure there's maybe like a handful of brands that are making streetwear pieces designated to sort of rip on Donald Trump.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Or any sort of thing going on nowadays. And obviously they're not going to be around, you know, in 5-6 years because they're only trying to capture this profit off of the moment.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of brands that care, and I think they're starting to understand that the kids that they're selling to, I mean, that they could be our age, they could be younger, they could be older, you know, mid-30s that have more of a foothold into, you know, things like retirement funds and things that matter to them when it comes to like having a president and all that shit. You know what I mean? So they are starting to understand that we have, like I said, we have to have an opinion. We have to choose a side. We have to make pieces that kids can attach to, because when it comes to something like politics or social issues, you got to choose a side.
Yeah, and I think why not? Like, why not use streetwear as a canvas to convey a message?
Of course.
I mean, the essence of streetwear is basically just an expression of your viewpoint, whatever, you know?
You could literally make a stencil and just spray paint it on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean?
And I mean, like, it could go both ways. We're not trying to be, I mean, it might seem like it, but we're not trying to be biased. But, you know, like, why not use streetwear as sort of a vehicle for, you know, provoking a discussion?
I say use it.
Yeah. If you can use like an art piece to be, if you can make an art piece thought-provoking or anything else like music, things like that, why not streetwear then?
Yeah. You know? I like to sort of look at it like a Banksy painting.
Yeah.
Because you like there's ones where it's just like, if you were to ask him what this means, it's literally what you see.
Yeah.
And then other ones, it's like, well, this means something more than that. And it has to revolve around this entirely, you know, different subject, like something that's actually thought-provoking. And I think that's how streetwear is. I think, like you said, it's basically art.
Yeah.
You know, so one season they can make an entire collection based around the political climate of, the world, and another one they can make one with a collaboration with Disney or something, where they don't care.
Yeah.
But I think it does take a particular event, a particular moment in time for them to attach themselves to it. Because, I mean, if we really look at the streetwear brands that are doing it right now, they weren't doing it last year. They weren't doing it the year before.
Yeah, I would say most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of a handful of them that definitely tackle not just political issues, but I would say like social issues as well.
Yeah.
Within their brand message.
Yeah.
Notably, like Born and Raised,
Mm-hmm.
a brand that's been around since I don't know how many years now, like maybe only like a handful,
Like 5,
like maybe 5 at most, yeah. But I think since that brand's birth, they've been sort of tackling issues around like gentrification, like the treatment of like Native Americans, things like that. So.
It's what they were. It's different. Like I said, like they're gonna stick around because their message is ingrained with what their brand is. They started it before it was even in the conversation, at least within the sphere of everything going on. You know what I mean? Like there's you're not gonna. Well, nowadays I feel like if you turn on the news, you're not gonna see really much of anything about like Native Americans or indigenous people.
No, not at all.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I highly doubt it.
And so when you're like a brand deeply rooted about that, and no matter where it's being talked about, you're still repping that. You're gonna keep going, and you're gonna you're gonna survive in this in the industry. Not to say that you're only surviving because you're championing this thing, but to be true to your roots keeps you in the game.
Yeah. And I think that's important because a lot of the times streetwear brands might cover stuff that may be overlooked by
for sure.
the general public,
Yeah.
So I think it's important for brands that if they do really care about a certain, whatever it may be, a certain cause, a certain movement, anything like that, I think it's important that they use their influence and their, basically their influence in order to share a message that may not have been heard.
And to that point then, let me ask you this, because when you say something along the lines of they care about their cause, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that they don't give a shit about any other causes.
Yeah.
But now let's say like somebody like we talked about, the millennial kid that doesn't really care. Say his only worry in life is fucking graduating high school.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only thing in his little like mental sphere is like, I need to graduate high school. I don't give a fuck what's going on in the rest of the world. Do you think that's the same sort of similar outlook that a brand like Born and Raised thinks of? I mean, even though it's two different sort of things they worry about, do you think they have, like, these kids, they have a right to be oblivious almost? You know what I mean? Like, if you were to be like, why don't you think about what's going on in the presidential election? And he's just like, I'm trying to worry about turning in my homework.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously that sort of interest, or at least that sort of awareness or consciousness surrounding things like politics, society, things like that, that can come at an early age. But for most people, I feel like it comes on when you're a lot older.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a lot older, but maybe just in your 20s, or at least when you're in college,
Yeah.
When you start thinking more about the world around you and how it affects you,
Some people don't really think about that till they're like 40 or 50, which is crazy.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people don't even think, like you said, people don't think about that even when they're 50, but I don't know.
So where do we see, like, where do we see streetwear going then? Because, I mean, we're gonna have to live with this either for the next 3 years, the next 7 years.
Yeah. Well,
right?
I mean, like I said, it's never going to go away. It's always going to be a thing. Streetwear being used as social commentary.
Yeah.
Even if it may not be political, like we were talking about before this, it may be just something going on with society in general, or pop culture as it is,
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a presidential campaign or anything like that. It could be something as simple as
a wildfire.
Like a wildfire, or like a water crisis, or anything like that,
So...
and there's definitely no shortage of shit like that.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, this shit's happening every day.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite sort of socially, politically charged like pieces that you've seen from a brand? Any stick out to you?
Like we talked about, Born and Raised. I think they do a really good job because, like you were saying, their message is authentic to who they are as a brand.
Yeah.
I know like one of their founders is Native American, so that sort of message obviously resonates very deeply with him.
Yeah,
because
sure.
that's him.
Yeah,
that's that's his message. Yeah, that's his experience. So, I think that's a good example. What about Noah?
What? So
they do.
That's one of those. So Adrienne Ho, I see it all the time. She rocks it all the time. I never knew what it meant, what it was, what the sort of origins of it. It just sort of popped up. I feel like a lot of those sort of New York brands kind of pop up, and they're obviously made by some like famous designer or something that's already in a circle, so then it gets circulated easily. But it has like a logo that looks very similar to like, what do you call it? It's not. It's when like back in the medieval days when they would like go around and like conquer other countries and like try to instill some sort of like religion.
Oh, you mean like the Crusades?
Yeah. That's the same sort of symbol they use in the Crusades, I think.
Yeah.
Is that what it's sort of talking about, or like? Is that...
I mean, they have different messages. Like I know they released like a pocket knife or like a Swiss Army knife that had some sort of political message. I can't remember it off the top of my head. And just a lot of other stuff. Like centered around maybe like a message about society, like pollution or whatever, shit like that, you know?
I always thought, well, like literally the first thing I thought of when I thought of Noah and the Crusader sort of emblem, I don't know why I thought of Noah's Ark, but I feel like it's not that.
Yeah.
But then I thought of like Joan of Arc. I don't know. There's like...
Hey, shout out to Joan of Arc.
These are the sort of like visual things, visual cues that sort of come up.
Yeah. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's meant to be that way.
Yeah,
you know?
probably.
Maybe it's, you know.
But they don't. But that's the thing. Like, if you have a brand like a Noah, right? And anything that you've ever seen them release is just their name and their logo.
Yeah.
If they're really trying to get some sort of like, you know, socially, politically charged, religiously charged message out there, I don't think they're doing a very good job of it because we still don't know what the fuck they're about.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It's very obscure.
And
like just honest, looking at it on the surface level,
we could be overthinking the shit out of this, and this could just be a guy named Noah who released a clothing line based off his name.
I mean, the founder used to work at Supreme. His name is Brendan, actually. He used to work at Supreme. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Yeah, that's probably why it's so popularly circulated.
Yeah, he used to be the creative director of Supreme, actually.
What's his name?
Brendan Babensian or something like that.
There's a lot of people that are involved with that.
Yeah,
they're just famous as shit.
But anyways, what about you? What about brands?
Some of my favorite ones are obviously, like I remember, and this was a funny one. It was the Japan release box logo that they released, the Rising Sun one.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool one because Supreme obviously has a very big sort of presence in Japan. So it's really showing like, hey, like we support you guys. All sort of profits are going to, I'm not sure exactly who it went to, but I'm sure there's different organizations in Japan that they were sort of filtering the money into, which is a great sort of thing. And they've done a lot of that.
Yeah.
You can see on their page, they do a lot of stuff with because they have stores in different countries. So if it's obviously if they just had stores in New York, then they would cover shit like, you know, like 9/11 and all these other things that happened on the home front for them. But when they're in a Paris, you know, they're in a Japan, two countries that have already been in the news like more than a lot of other countries in the past like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Based off of just fucking tragic events. They do a good job in like sort of, it's almost like PR for them. You know, they do a good job in like staying on top of it and showing like, hey, like we're not just some streetwear brand that, you know, just sells clothes out of your neighborhoods. We give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, which is a cool thing because you don't see that done by a lot of companies.
Yeah, and Supreme actually did a T-shirt that all the proceeds went to the ACLU. I don't know if you remember that. That was spring, summer of this year.
Was
I think.
Was it a box logo?
It wasn't a box logo. It was just like this plain white T-shirt. It had like this black box with white text or black text in it, and it said, I forgot what it said.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I actually bought it. I had
Really?
I've had it, but it didn't fit me, so I sold it.
Of course,
But
of course.
I got a large because I was like, it's gonna shrink.
All right, do you think that is sort of looked down upon?
What?
If you were to buy, say, the Japan Relief Box logo, something that the money and the profits go to, people in Japan that are suffering some sort of hardship, you buy that and you resell it for your own profit.
Do I think that's necessarily bad? I mean, it's
upon?
like kind of, it's kind of fucked up. But at the same time, if you already bought it from Supreme, then obviously the money's already going to them anyway. Yeah, to whatever cause they're supporting. So it doesn't really matter, I guess.
All right, that's a good way to justify it, I guess.
Yeah.
Another one.
It's not going to keep me.
And this would, I like the graphics that sort of depict like very like legendary figures in like history,
like Malcolm X.
Yeah, like they did like a Malcolm X like behind the corner with a gun.
Yeah,
in like a graphic. I had that shirt. I actually bought that in Japan, and I resold it.
Get it,
dude. Another one would be like any sort of like Martin Luther King sort of homage. Like those ones are always my favorite. I know FA does that a lot in their graphics. They always sort of like depict like sort of socially charged things, and also it's like really weird stuff at the same time that's just kind of gross. But no, I haven't really seen it too much, to be honest. I haven't seen any brand sort of like specifically focus on it.
Yeah,
because I feel like if you
like that, like a political message be their main thing that they do. Yeah,
it's definitely like there's people that are just like a brand like Pleasures, right?
Yeah.
They're just always out there about everything.
Yeah.
So like if they were to release something that said something, sort of hateful about the president, then nobody would be surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's a good one. You remember when they had the whole Vote or Die campaign?
Yeah.
That's when I saw a lot of brands jump on that. That it was pretty awesome because you would see obviously P. Diddy was wearing it, so like being like one of the main people in hip hop, that's obviously going to circulate.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to see other brands sort of like mimic it and change it into their own sort of slang, like their own phrases, the same way that they do with sort of everything, like the "Make America Great Again" line. That's been twisted and manipulated 1,000 times.
I actually just saw a dude wearing I was walking to work today and I saw a dude wearing a red hat with like white text on it. I was like, oh, is he wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat? And it wasn't. It was like some sort of like parody hat.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the parody hats come out fast when those sort of lines are sort of out in the open. Everywhere. You know what I mean? Like that. There's the game EA Skate that used to be a thing. I saw somebody wearing a hat that said "Make EA Skate Again," which was really cool. But yeah, like a brand like a Balenciaga obviously is ripping every logo. So I think that's cool. They have to do that. Maybe not like every season, every article of clothing, but hey, like every now and then put out something that shows like, hey, we hate or like what's going on within this sort of subject.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
No, for sure. Just as I think it's just an extension of kind of the sentiment that you should make your voice heard, as a person, as a citizen of whatever country you're from, or maybe not even a citizen. But I think it's important that you advocate for yourself and what you believe in. And that sort of idea kind of extends to brands as well.
And I feel like we're in a state nowadays where we can say whatever we want. Obviously, freedom of speech is one thing, but how people react to it is another thing. Yeah. So obviously you can't just say whatever the fuck you want to whoever you want. Yeah. At least if you can face the repercussions from that.
AKA you Nazis.
Exactly. That is we're aiming that at you.
I'm getting a lot of death threats from this podcast.
It's all good.
On this
fucking
episode.
Bring it. But I mean like so when it comes to just the openness to sort of say whatever you want and sort of capture, a movement that you care about, maybe like a brand like, let's talk about Gosha real quick. Yeah. Because that captures a time and place, and you could almost smell the fucking baklava every time you
baklava?
Think.
What the
Russian?
fuck?
That's
no,
Russian,
that's
right?
Greek, dude.
God damn it. Anyways, I was gonna say
you
like
uncultured swine.
you can almost like you think of like a dark fucking like foggy ass Russia when you think of like Gosha, right?
Or just like AKs just on the floor,
fucking, like the big fuzzy hat, and I don't know what it's called exactly, but I mean like
very stereotypical right
now. But I mean like when you think about a brand like Gosha, you think about that moment
like
that
it
they're
embodies
trying to
that time period.
You know what they're talking about when they release clothing. I don't know what the logo is sort of like designed after. I was gonna say the Soviet Union, but I don't think it is.
That's their text, that's their language, that's how they write.
Yeah.
It's it starts with a C. I don't know what the no
or something like that. No, I don't know what it is.
No, that's not how it's pronounced. But anyway,
with a brand like that, you know, and they try to capture a specific moment in time, do you think that's cool?
No, yeah, I think it's cool, especially for like that time period and that sort of social setting that they're capturing in their brand. I think obviously it hasn't been really done before. That's why it's so popular. But it's, as an American, it's interesting to see because I think like Soviet Russia and post-Soviet Russia was such like a foreign place. Like we knew nothing about it as like just ordinary citizens that it's interesting to see now. And I mean, like we never lived through that. Like we weren't alive during the 80s or anything like that. So
Think
we
about
didn't
how much of a liberating time that was for that sort of that group of people. You know what I mean? It was. I can only imagine like when the toppling sort of happened, just the energy and the youth, just like fucking excited and like, you know, and they're trying to throw that into clothing and sort of have that feeling felt.
Fucking commie scum.
For real. Man, like why do I feel like
I'm just kidding, by the way.
For some reason, all right, hear me out. I feel like obviously we're going through a crazy time right now.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
But
undoubtedly.
I don't know if we can compare it to something like that.
Undoubtedly? Yeah, but wait,
I don't think we can compare it to something like a Soviet Russia type of thing.
No, because that was like such a complete 180 from where they were at.
Exactly.
So, like, it was,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously America right now is going through some crazy shit. But do you think in 5-10 years from now somebody could make a brand based off of what is going on right now? And capture,
like a full-fledged brand.
Capture, like, you know how the way Gosha does it with the types of clothing, right? You know, like I don't know if it's like fur, but it's like very like mixture of military style.
Very like kind of like grungy, like rave, skate, soccer.
Sweatsooty, like cable knit sweater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could somebody do that in 5 to 10 years from now based off of what is going on in America right now?
I don't think so because... I mean, our form of government is still the same. Like, for the most part, our society is like pretty much the same. There's no like huge shifts like changing the form of government or whatever, anything like that. There's no like real big cultural shift. I mean, obviously, like there's major events happening in politics and all that shit, but it's nothing that we haven't seen. It might be on like a bigger scale now. It might be worse than it was maybe like 5-10 years ago, but it's not on that big of a scale to the point where we're going to be able to see brands like that, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And I think like we talked about this in an early episode, but like a brand like a Double Taps or like a Neighborhood or any of those sort of like America's, we were in Japan for a little bit and they sort of created that sort of lifestyle brand behind it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a W Taps kind of covers the military garb that they're worn and they sort of mimic that, right?
Yeah.
Like these are brands that are like that's basically capturing like a moment in time of like post wars and like all this sort of like imperialism that was going on. So it's like I feel like obviously if we were to have a World War III and hopefully people survive and streetwear still becomes a thing, somebody's gonna make a brand.
Post-apocalyptic streetwear.
It's gonna be like fucking BioShock. Like people just wearing like tech suits and like with swooshes on them.
Hey, shout out Fallout. Fallout. I fuck with Fallout heavy.
Hopefully, no. But knock on wood about World War III. Let's not go there.
But
yeah, I mean, this was definitely like a very, very intense episode.
Yeah, I mean it was. I mean we didn't get really too heated about.
I feel like we could talk. Like I personally didn't think that I would able to have that wide of an opinion about politics.
Yeah, especially because you didn't vote. But anyways, that's beside the point. But yeah,
I don't have an opinion about what goes on. You know what? Never mind. But it was definitely something that was kind of like I didn't think that I knew that much about. You know what was going on. I didn't. I don't.
You don't.
I did. Kinda. But I think it all comes down to just having an opinion about certain things or being able to relate it to your life or understanding what other cultures go through, what other countries go through.
Yeah.
At least just history. Knowing history is important to be able to form an opinion about what's kind of going on now.
Yeah.
And I think with streetwear, when you look back at like the early 90s and which was heavily influenced by, you know, there's a lot of shit going on in the 90s too.
Yeah, like the end of the Cold War, all that shit, you know.
I mean, and just think about like all the police brutality stuff. Yeah, like the Rodney King shit, the O.J. Simpson shit, or that wasn't well, whatever. But yeah, like people featured their graphics on their shirts. Vintage T-shirts and bootlegs made a huge comeback this year. So it's something that's always gonna sort of play its part in social and political, you know, events, you know?
Yeah.
Streetwear's always going to be there.
Yeah. And I mean, just to kind of cap things off here, like you were saying, I think no matter where we go, no matter what's happening in the world, no matter, you know, what kinds of twists and turns the fashion and streetwear world takes, streetwear will definitely, or politics will, and societal issues will still be heavily ingrained in streetwear and streetwear culture.
Yeah.
Because they go hand in hand.
Exactly. So. And if we're experiencing stuff, if we're in the midst of all the bullshit that's going on and we have some sort of like angst about it, we're going to fucking screen print it on a T-shirt and tell people that we're mad. You know, we're going to tell people that
you
we're
won't
upset.
because
I won't
you don't
because
express your opinion about politics.
Oh my God. You're never going to let me hear the end of that. So when 2018? The next 3 years. What year is it?
2020.
2020 comes around.
God, we suck at math.
In episode 500 and whatever.
Yeah.
And I vote. I'm going to vlog myself voting.
You can't.
I'm going to vlog myself approaching the voting booth.
And then walk away before you get there.
Then you're going to stop giving me shit about that. But this was definitely a great episode in terms of just opening up the conversation about something that I don't think people really give a shit about in terms of streetwear. Like, it's not something that people even think twice about nowadays because, like I said, attention spans are short and, you know, people are just buying these politically charged, socially charged items of clothing for only one reason. That's really to resell it.
To flex.
For the clout. For show.
Clout.
But before we leave... just want to make sure we both pour this out. Nate actually bought this for...
Ryan just got a new job, so I bought him a bottle of rosé to celebrate.
Man, amazing. I'm just going to make sure that I don't
Jesus Christ, you fucked up that pour.
Just so everybody...
That's a lot of rosé.
Just so everybody
Normal people don't pour that much
rosé. We don't traditionally drink on the podcast, but this might be the first one. This might be the last one, or next episode we might just keep going. This might turn into a drinking podcast. But anyways, we just want to say thanks for listening to this week's episode.
Thanks for your support. As always, like,
subscribe,
comments if you want.
Man, whatever you want. This one might produce a lot more comments than usual.
Ask us questions, hate on us, whatever. We just want some sort of response.
Yes, whatever you need to do. Interaction is cool. Let's continue this conversation in the comments section and on our feeds and whatever, man. Just listen in. Next week's episode it's gonna come next Friday like usual. So, yeah. I mean, nothing new to expect. But yeah, so cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. We out. Bye.